Well, to start, I'm the third generation in my family producing tequila. My sons are the fourth generation. So I spend my whole life in this environment, in this business, as agave producer and as tequila producer. So I've been working with my father in the other distillery for a little bit more than 20 years. Then I decided with my two sons to keep in this business, but we took the decision to build our own distillery in order to preserve as close as possible production as my grandfather or my father were working. Okay, that's why we started with this distillery. Our ovens are, you will see the ovens. Our ovens are clay ovens. Well, actually, there's stone ovens. We are using the traditional Tahona, but with a change that you will never see the same thing in our distillery. Our Tahona is mechanical. It's not a stone going in circles. This is a big cylinder coming and going, squeezing the agave. We are still fermenting with natural yeast. We're using the same yeast that my grandfather were using, then my father, and even now we are reproducing this yeast right here at the distillery. Our equipment, we are distilling first distillation and second distillation only in copper. Copper is about quality. It's not about economy, because stainless steel probably cost for the same equipment is about 25%. The life of copper is 35, 40 years. Stainless steel maybe will be for 100 years or more. But now, again, it's a matter of quality. What's the difference? So many people is asking me, what's the difference? Well, the difference is during the fermentation, we are creating natural. We are creating some sulfurous compounds. Copper helps us to get rid of these compounds. Stainless steel is absolutely natural. It's not eliminating those compounds. That's the reason. With stainless steel, it will be necessary to filter your product through activated carbon in order to remove this stink. But at the same time, you're removing part of the natural aromas from tequila. Then it's more complex tequila made in copper than made in stainless steel. So.
A quick question.
Yes.
Why do you think that you have this special Tahona?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's better than Tahona, and why do you think it's better than the roller mill?
Well, roller mill, they are so much more efficient. Okay, with a stone, with a traditional Tahona, maybe you can process 3 tons in 8 hours working. We are processing about 10 tons in the same time, and with roller mills, you will be processing the whole oven in a matter of 3-4 hours. Why we decided to keep using Tahonas instead of roller mills? Roller mills are very aggressive. Then you are breaking the fibers. As a result, breaking the fibers, you are extracting certain amount of cellulose. This cellulose in your fermentation process will increase your levels of superior alcohols and methanol. Okay. In our case, we are the only distillery in the whole industry not cutting heads. Our levels of superior alcohols are so low. We don't need to cut heads. We don't need to eliminate this high graduation alcohol, and we don't want to eliminate this for that reason. One, it's a waste of high proof alcohol, and second, with the superior alcohols are coming the fruity herbal, spacious aromas. As much as you're moving, less complex is your product. Why we are not cutting heads? Because the limit is 500 parts per million. It is the limit. Ours is average 350 parts per million without eliminating. It is necessary to eliminate if you exceed this limit. That's why in the Holland they are removing the excess. We don't need to do that. And our levels of methanol average there are 160 parts per million. The limit is 300. And as far as I know, the average with tequila made with mills, the average is 250, 260 parts per million, higher than ours. That's the reason why we prefer to squeeze the agave, not to break the agave, the fibers. Okay? That answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you. No, that's excellent.
Okay.
So you mentioned already, your very special method for the taona, your special taona. You also mentioned that if I use the copper stills.
Yes.
And that you have a fermentation that's coming from. Is it agave proprietary yeast, or how to imagine that yeast?
Agave for what?
Oh, sorry, you mentioned the yeast.
The yeast. We prefer to use natural yeast. Using synthetic yeast, like the yeast for bread or something, you can speed up your fermentation. You can ferment your mosto in 24 hours, 30 hours. In our case, take us average 5 days. Okay, it's very slowly. Why I'm not using synthetic yeast? Has some certain tastes that I don't like it. I cannot compare with other ones, but there is something I don't like it. Then I prefer to keep using the same yeast than my father or my grandfather, natural yeast, and taking my time in that fermentation.
Ah, interesting. And so is this yeast, did it come from the agave plant?
No, the yeast is the original yeast, the whole air is full of yeast. When we are, you have the chance to join us, when we are sending the juice to the fermentation tanks, before we start adding yeast, naturally they will start with fermentation. How come? With the yeast, which is floating in the air, okay? So reproducing the yeast, what we are looking is more population, okay, in order to speed up as much as possible, but with natural yeast, our process. And even that takes us average 5 days. In winter, can take us 6 days, the complete process of fermentation.
Wow. So also the time of the year has an effect on the fermentation.
Yeah, especially temperature. Okay, in summer, that is more hot. You have, in order to have an efficient fermentation, as close as possible at 30 Celsius will be better. If your temperature comes too low, at 16 Celsius, the whole process stops. Okay? Then, as you will see, every single fermentation tank, in our case, has insulation. Okay? In order to preserve temperature in winter, to not let this temperature down. Okay, so we don't need to use external sources of heat in order to keep this the ideal temperature. Natural works with insulation. Okay.
Thank you. And you already mentioned a little bit earlier about the importance of choosing the right agave for.
Well, yes, but everybody. I wonder why everybody is focused in the agave. Okay, agave is really important, but I do believe has the same or more importance the water, the quality of your water. If you have bad water, it doesn't matter how good is your agave. You will never get a good product. 40% of this, the content of this bottle is water. 60% is water. 40% is alcohol, but water was in every single step of the production of this alcohol also. Then it's really important the quality of the water. We are really so lucky because we have 3 sources of water in here, and 3 of them are absolutely clean. Rainwater, we are producing tequila with rainwater during the whole rain season. We are producing tequila in the dry season. The water is coming from a spring we have in the hills, in the property. And in the case of our oil brand Terralta, water is coming from our deep well right here. Okay? Just change the water and your profile will change. The steps are the same, the agave is completely mature, everything is the same but the water. Water is enough to change the profile. And even our water coming from the deep well is absolutely clean. There is in property in the hills, there is no pigs, there is no cattle, there is no people living there, there is nothing, it's just clean water. So many times when I'm talking about tequila, this question shows up. Why you decided to use rainwater or spring water? And everybody smiles when I say, because it's free. Well, the main reason is that the other source of water available here is county water, okay? But they're pumping the water to a tank. They are not cleaning the tank enough. Sometimes it's so dirty, the water. Sometimes there is a lot of contamination. They're adding a huge amount of chlorine, okay? And it will be a disaster. If I have this sort of water available, I prefer to use that one. And also, it's free.
It doesn't hurt.
We have enough water. So agave is really important. And it's important, if it's mature, tender, the profile will change, no matter what. Okay? In our case, we're looking for mature agave, or even extreme mature agave, has a more concentration of sugars. We are looking as much sugar as we can. At the end of the day, we are transforming this sugar into alcohol. Okay? So it is really important, the quality of your agave, but not the only factor.
Bueno, but I have several questions for
yes.
if I may. So for the water, first I would like to ask this. So obviously for the distillation, for dishes you use a lot of water,
yeah.
And I would assume you don't treat it anyway because it's going to be distilled and filtered
yes.
by that. But when you use it for the dilution, do you use any filtration?
The water, in the last step, in order to make the dilution, yes, we are sending the water through filters. There are filters and activated carbon and even ultraviolet light in order to guarantee the water absolutely pure for our dilution. For our normal process, we are using the water just as it's coming. I don't know if you did, but if you want to drink a glass of water, you'll find that we are drinking from the faucet, okay? Mm-hmm. From there. Mm-hmm. If it's raining, that will be rainwater. If we are working for Terralta, it will be the well water. And we are drinking this water, all of us, unfiltered water. Every 6 months, we are sending the samples to the labs, to the CRT for the approval, and we never have a single problem with our quality. Okay?
Wow. So for the filtration, you use activated carbon and...
cellulose filters, activated carbon, and and ultraviolet light.
Okay.
Okay. I was trying to remember the name of the this equipment, but I'm so bad for names. I will remember eventually.
That's okay. So
I should ask.
the question is that you don't use like reverse osmosis or something, so there's still a flavor to the water that after all these filtrations.
The flavor of water is coming. Why the water is changing our profiles? Well, rainwater has different amount of minerals, different pH than the spring water, and of course, there is so much more concentration of minerals coming from the deep well than coming from the spring or coming from the rain, and each water has different pH. Then change the profile. Just change water, and you are changing the profile. Okay. Then G4 is a combination. 50% of this tequila was made with rainwater, 50% with spring water. And when so soon our run was going well, so soon it was clear. Eventually, it won't be enough rainwater to keep producing the same tequila. That's why we started producing tequila with the deep well, but the profiles are so different. It is impossible to sell both under the same brand. People will notice immediately those are not the same. That's why we have this other brand. That's why we have two brands.
Thank you so much, Felipe. And I have the other question for the agave, in a sense of, are you looking for a certain maturity? So, like, let's say you're looking for Sazon agaves or...
Well, Sazon for us means mature agave.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, we are looking for mature agave.
Okay, but in the maturity scale, you're looking for more like the Pinto or like something like Madurado?
When you say Pinto, it's because the agave is coming in extreme state of maturity. Yes, if we can find in this stage, it will be my favorite. Okay, yeah, we are looking as most mature as possible. Yeah. Okay.
And okay, so we went through. We had the agaves. You explained us the cooking. But even I think even your brick ovens are a little bit different, right, from the design of most other producers.
Well, the difference with our oven is we are feeding this oven with the steam from the bottom and from the top in order to cook our agave even. When we are feeding with steam only from the bottom, when your agave in the top is already cooked, it's because you overcooked the agave in the bottom, or it is not enough cooked in the top when it's cooked in the oven. Then we are cooking even and save sometimes. Our whole process takes us 22 hours. The capacity of each oven is 28 tons. And the other difference, we are sending water steam, okay, in order to cook this like everybody else, but with one difference. It's normal in the whole industry, in the whole, not just tequila. It's normal just to put in the water in order to feed your boiler some additives in order to avoid chemical products, in order to avoid incrustation, oxidation, and in many cases they are even adding softeners for the water. We are using only water, no chemical products, because we do believe that contamination will start there, because you will be sending steam from the water and from those chemicals. Then we avoid the chemicals, okay? We're using only clean water.
Interesting. Well, thank you. I think I haven't, noticed that you really even take care of the water for the cooking or the hydrolysis.
Yeah. Our focus is not the volume. Our focus is quality. Okay, and then we are trying. You will see in a few months our equipment, our steels. Normally in the industry, it is necessary to remove, to disassemble the whole steels in order to clean them. In our case, we've been using those steels for 12 years, and we never remove a single screw. But you will see if they are clean or not in a few minutes. Okay?
Thank you. Yeah. And just another question I just popped that, so the 24 hours, does it include the resting time, like the cooling down?
Cooking? No.
Okay.
We start sending steam to the oven. In about 3.5 hours, at this altitude, we will reach 94 Celsius inside. In this moment, we stopped sending steam. The steam we already sent in them was condensed in the walls and all around the agaves. That help us to remove the wax from the agave, the excess of wax from the agave, dirt, any impurity coming from the fields. Then we are collecting about 1,500 liters each time. It is dirty water. We are releasing this water. In the industry, they call this bitter honey. There is no honey in there. We didn't transform the starch into sugar, so there is no honey in there. It's just dirty water. We are releasing this. Then we reestablish the steam, and once we reach 97 Celsius, we'll keep this temperature for the rest of the time. Then since the beginning to the end take us 22 hours. Now, it will be necessary, once we finish, it will be necessary to release the honey inside the ovens. The weight of the agave in the top starts squeezing the agave in the bottom. We are collecting between 5,000 to 6,000 liters of honey inside the oven. We are not wasting this, we are sending this to our dilution tank. And now we can open the door, one of the doors and the two small doors in the roof. It is necessary to cool it down, the agave, for 24 hours, and now people can handle the agave, okay? Then, since the beginning to the end, cooling down the agave, then take us 48 hours, 48, 50 hours, okay?
Thank you for explaining. No, it's very okay. Now it's all clear. And so now we talked about the hydrolysis. So then, of course, you explained us how it's just so unique that what you did, and so like the efficiency with Kingtown and what you.
Well, you will see most of our process, it is by gravity. Then we avoid to pump back again and again and again. Our Tahona, the weight of this cylinder is about 8,000 kilos. And we are moving the cylinder coming and going with one electrical motor, 1 horsepower capacity. So small, instead of about 100 that you will need with the mills. Okay, we are taking care of our consumption of heavy oil. We are consuming, in order to produce 1 liter, about 50% than the rest of the industry require. And I can tell you our electrical bills in here, working the full capacity, should be about between $250 to $300 a month. When we are using water coming from the deep well, then our bill doubles because it requires a lot of energy to bring the water from the well. Then we are trying to be as much efficient, not messing with quality. Okay, the hot water from the showers, from the kitchen, for everything, we are using solar heaters. We are trying to be as much friendly with nature. We are not releasing a single drop of vinaza out of the property. We are sending, you will see, we are sending to a tank. We call the sedimentation tank. Solids are going to the bottom. Then reaching about 3 feet from the bottom, there is a pipe. By gravity goes to our deposits. We are leaving the vinasse cooling down, and then we are adding lime in order to neutralize the vinasse because it's very acid. Once it's neutral, we are sending the whole vinasse back to our fields. And you can see we are not destroying our fields. Our fields are very productive. Okay, fiber, part of the fiber we're using in order to feed the cattle. Part of this fiber we're making compost with this. We are mixing the manure from the cattle and the fiber at the end and sending back as fertilizer to our fields. We are not releasing from here any single drop of contaminants.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's safe to say you're sustainable.
And believe me, it's cheaper to do the things right once than to do it wrong again and again and again, and to pay fines and to come on. Come on, but I don't understand why so many people don't understand that. Okay.
Interesting. Wow. And okay, so thanks for explaining that first of all.
Okay.
Brad. And I wanted to also ask that you already mentioned that how really clean your processes are. So basically, for the end product, when it comes of the steel, you may do some sort of maybe a paper filtration. Do you do anything else, or do you filter?
No, you will see. We're the sealing twice. First time we are getting alcohol, low graduation, about 26. Okay, about 26 ABV is not enough to call it tequila. Then we need to distill again in order to reach 55%. Okay. When first distillation, we are dragging with the steam small particles of fibers, small particles of skin from the agave. Then ordinario, first distillation, is a little bit, you can see turbosity in there, a little bit. Then we are sending this ordinario through a couple of filters, cellulose filters, 20 microns and 5 microns by gravity, and in order to remove this solids in suspension. Then we are sending back, sending to another tank. Now it's crystal clear, ordinario. Now, from there we are sending to second distillation. From second distillation, we are pumping with no filters from there to our tanks. You just try a few minutes ago our low distillation. There is no filters in the way. Okay, we don't need to filter this. We are doing something that nobody else is doing also. Before we start first and second distillation, we are distilling water as hot as possible in order to produce steam as hot as possible. This steam drags inside the coils any impurities, small particles of copper oxide, dust, syntax, whatever it is. And you can see the filtrators, they're disaster. Once we've been distilling 40 liters, 45 liters of water, start coming crystal clear. In this moment, we stopped distilling water, we're releasing this water, and now we can start producing. There is no such thing like to keep clean your equipment with a house right in the model of your steel. What about the rest? What about the capital? What about the coils? What about this? There is still, you cannot clean that with a house. Okay, we are washing this with steam. Okay,
Oh, interesting.
that helps us to keep our equipment clean, absolutely clean. You will see our equipment 12 years after.
Wow, nice.
Okay.
Nice. Wow. And just interesting. So my wife kind of noticed something that in a way you explained that you do not cut the heads, so
No.
it's all in there.
But we are cutting tails.
You can. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you.
See again. Okay.
But this way you can have a longer tail, right? I mean, you can have a, how do you say, cut later.
We are cutting tail, but first bucket with tails, we are sending back to first distillation in order to recover this alcohol, and even that we have average 160 parts per million. Okay, yeah, it is necessary. Methanol again starts coming so high, and it's coming down. At this specific elevation, once we are reaching 15% alcohol by volume at 20 Celsius, methanol goes to sky. Then we need to cut just previous. This is the tail cut. Okay, we need to do that. Not head, but yes, we need to do that at the end. Okay?
Okay, wow, nice.
I think let's go to singing. I think I explained you almost the whole process. Okay?
I think so.
And then in the march I will explain you, I will show you the cellar, our bottling area, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.